Hi everyone, I hope you're doing good and staying safe. Welcome to SimpliCode's YouTube channel, and in today's session, we are going to learn about views in SQL. SQL views are very powerful in its usage when used properly. They allow the user to store SQL queries into virtualized containers, or in other words, virtual tables in our database. So in today's tutorial, we are going to learn how to create a view in SQL and understand how exactly they work. More on that soon, but before we get started, if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed already, consider getting subscribed to our channel SimpliCode to stay updated with all the latest technologies, and hit that bell icon to never miss an update from us. So without any further ado, let's get started with today's topic. What is view in SQL? A database view in SQL is like having virtual tables containing a single query and its result. The result is usually a virtual table with rows and columns, just like the actual table in a database. We can either pass a query to store all the rows and columns of a table or only a part of it. Now, the most significant advantage of a view in SQL is that it stores the query, and hence we don't have to write it again and again from scratch. Now, but then a question arises, why not use the stored procedure instead? Even the stored procedure can hold a query and execute whenever called. However, the advantage with view is that they are easier and more straightforward compared to procedures. While procedures can have multiple statements with them, views can have only one. Also, views do not accept any parameters as in case with the stored procedure. Now, SQL views can be considered as one of the database objects which is created over an SQL query. It simply represents the data returned by an SQL query. So a view does not actually store the data in the tables, but every time we call a view in the database, it returns the result set of the query in which it is defined. So in a nutshell, we can say that a view is similar to that of a relational database table, which can be treated as a virtual table, and it is just a mere representative of an underlying SQL query. It always fetches the data from base table that are used to create the view using the view creation query. Let us now understand this syntax. The views in SQL are created with the create view syntax, and creating views in SQL is very simple. Following is the basic syntax to create a view in SQL, and it is followed as create view, view name as select column 1, column 2 up to so on column n from table 1, table 2, table n where condition. Now to see the data in the view, we can query the view using the following select statement. Now create view is used at the start of the code to initiate the view, and then select is used to decide which columns to pick from the tables. Now table 1, table up to so on table n denotes the names of the table. However, you can work on a single table as well. Now where is used to define the condition, which is used to select only a particular number of rows. Now another significant advantage of views is that it allows certain operations like insert, update, delete, just like you perform in a normal SQL table. Now, other than this, we have other operations which can be performed using the view. Now, view is used to filter records using where clause. Now, we know that there is a lot of chunks of data in our database, and if we want only a part of it, we can filter the data using the where clause. Similarly, we can select columns from a single table as per our need. And in the same way, we can use the group by clause to select only a particular or a summarized result of a resultant set. And finally, we can also select columns from multiple tables using the join condition as well. So now that we've understood what exactly views are, let us jump into MySQL Workbench for execution part.
If getting your learning started is half the battle, what if you could do that for free? Visit SkillUp by Simplilearn. Click on the link in the description to know more.
So as you can see, MySQL Workbench has started, and before we proceed into the execution part and see how to create a view in SQL using various examples, let us first quickly understand why we use views in SQL, so that we'll have a clear picture before we get into the execution part. Now there are various reasons for using views in SQL. The first one is majorly because of security reasons, right? Now, views provide security to the data, acting as a security mechanism, and views can actually enhance security by restricting data access to users. For instance, we can limit a user from accessing the actual table that contains sensitive data, but provide access to the view that has only insensitive data. Let's take an example to understand this. Now, in a company, there is an employee, HR, and a manager who might be working on a same database table to fetch some information. Now, because they are from different departments, there must be some data that might be irrelevant to HR, but it might be relevant to the manager. And in other case, that data might be relevant to manager, but it might be irrelevant to the employee. So in that case, there should be a security mechanism that would hide irrelevant information of the table from certain usage. Now, views allows us to hide or show some data of table depending on the requirement and security. With the help of conditions, we can hide some data for a particular person. Now, the second reason is because of to reduce the complexity. Now, views are introduced, or they were actually introduced to reduce the complexity of the multiple tables and deliver data in a simple manner. Views hide the complexity of the data in the database as they join and simplify multiple tables into a single virtual table, which is easier for a user to understand. And finally, because of consistency reasons. Now, views also maintain the data integrity as it presents a consistent and accurate data from the database. You can easily make changes to the views according to the user requirement, and the effect of the same will be seen quickly in a quick manner. So now that we've understood why we use views in SQL, let us just quickly go get into the execution part now. Now we can easily create a view in SQL from a single table or even multiple tables using the create view statement. Now, but before we create a view, we'll create a table named customers that we will use throughout this session now. So let us just create a table first, which is a customer table, and the syntax is create table customer. And in the customer table, I'm going to create various columns or fields such as customer ID, customer name, age, address, and I'm giving customer ID as a primary key because it uniquely identifies each and every record in the table. So let us just execute this statement and we'll see the output. So our query has been successfully executed. So let me just use the select statement to display the result. Select star from customer. Right, so our table has been created and the fields customer ID, customer name, age and address are being displayed. Now let us quickly insert some values into in this table. Now I'll use the insert statement for that. Insert into table name, which is customer, values, and within the brackets, now customer ID let us take as 101, name let us take as Kiran, and age I'm taking as 25, and address I'm taking as Hyderabad. Right, so let us execute this statement and we'll see the output. So our query has been successfully executed and the information has been inserted into our table. So as you can see, the details of Kiran has been successfully executed and displayed in our table. Now similarly, I'll insert some more records into the table. So let me just copy this insert statement. So let us change the values here: 102, 103, 104, and 105. And name also let us change. I'm taking another customer name as Priya, Kushal, Vaibhav, and let's say Gayatri. And let us change their age as well. I'm taking as 26, 24, 28, and 23. Now you can change their address as well. So I'm taking the address for Priya as Bangalore. For Kushal, I'm taking as Mumbai. Let us just remain Hyderabad for Vaibhav itself, and let us take as Chennai for Gayatri. So let us just execute this statement and we'll see the output. So our query has been successfully executed. Let me just display the values now. So as you can see, a total of 5 records have been inserted into our table. Now we can proceed into creating a view for our table customer. Now to begin with, we'll create a simple view from our customer table, which is an existing table which we've created just now. So the following syntax would be create view, which is the keyword we use. You can give any name to your view. Let's say customer view, as select the columns that you want to display in your resultant view table, which is a virtual table, right? So I want to display all the fields in my resultant view table. So I'll use the select star operator, select star from customer. So let us execute this statement and we'll see the output. So our query has been successfully executed, and now when you refresh the schema section, you can see in views, you can find a new one which is created as a customer view. So let me just display the results in the view. For that, I'll use the select query again, select star from customer view. So as you can see, the exact details of the customers that we have already inserted in our previous table customers has been inserted in the customer view as well. So that means in this way, this view will store all the columns that were in the customer table, and it will simply copy paste all the records from customer table into the customer view, which we have created now. Now, similarly, you can also create a view from the existing table as well. So for that, let us take an example. Let's say if I want to create a view of projects table here. So let me just display the records from the projects table. And we'll see the output. So as you can see, the project table has various fields such as project ID, employee ID, project name, project manager. Now let's say I've had a new requirement wherein there is a new employee who's joining as a fresher into the company, and as a manager I want to show the details of all the project names that the company is currently working on. Now I want to hide the employee ID details because I don't want the fresher to have exact idea on which project the current employees are working. So for that, I'll create a view, a simple view here, which will basically give all access to the fresher or the employee who have recently joined. He can only view the project name and project manager's name. That's it. So let me just create a view here. Create view. Let us take the view name as project view again. As select the columns. Now I'll just select the project ID, the project name, and the project manager's name here. Project managers from the table, that is projects. So let us execute this statement and we'll see the output. So our query has been successfully executed. Now when you refresh this again, you can see another view is formed in the views section, which is the project view. So let me just display the records that are present in this view. I'll use the select statement again, select star from projects view. So as you can see now, only the project ID, the project name, and the name of the project manager are being displayed without displaying the employee IDs in this view table. So it will basically encapsulate or hide the unwanted details for the new employee so that he can only view the project name and the project manager's name itself. That's it. Right, so that brings us to the next segment wherein we'll understand how to perform various operations in a view in SQL, that is how to insert, update and delete records in a view. Now just like actual tables, we can easily insert, update and delete rows in a view that is not allowed in stored procedures. Now firstly, let us discuss how to insert a row in a view. For inserting a row in a view, we'll use the project view as an example that we have created earlier. Now the view already had, let's say, I think 10 rows, and we'll insert another row using the insert into command. So the following syntax is insert into name of the view, that is project views, project view, values, and inside that let's say I'm taking project ID as 1120, comma, project name, let us say artificial neural network, comma, and let us say the project manager name is Akash. So let us execute the statement and we'll see the output. So our query has been successfully executed. So let me just use the select statement again to display the records. So as you can see, there's a new record with the project ID 1120 and the project name is Artificial Neural Networks and the project manager name is Akash. So as we can see in the output, in this way we can create another row by inserting in the view, which confirms that the insert statement has been successfully executed. Right. So next, let us discuss how to update a record in a view. Now, just like inserting, we can also update a row in a view. If you notice the previous example, we have inserted a new row that is with the project ID as 1120. Let us update one of the record in this. Let's say if I want to update the project details of blockchain technology as something else, I'll use the update statement here. So the syntax for the update would be update, mention the view name, that is project view, set. Now since we are changing the project name, I'll mention the field project name, set project name equals to. Now let's say if I want to change the project ID 110 as, let's say, SEO optimization, or let's say SEO analytics, where project ID equals to 1110. Right, so let us execute this statement and we'll see the output. So our query has been successfully executed. So let me run the select statement again to display the records. So as you can clearly see that the project ID, which was 1110, which was earlier blockchain technology, has been changed into SEO analytics. So the updated the version of the column name, which was blockchain technology, has been changed into SEO analytics successfully. Thus, it is confirmed that the update statement has been executed successfully as well. Now, finally, let us see how to delete a record in a view. Now, just like how we inserted and updated a row, we can also delete a row using the delete statement. For example, we will delete the row which is having project ID, let's say 810. Which is project name as diabetic retinopathy and the project manager name is Harsh. So let me just delete this record. So I'll use the delete statement here. Delete from project view, where is the condition we use here, where project ID equals to 810. Right, so let me just execute this again. So our query has been executed successfully. Let me just display the records. So as you can see, the record, the project ID which is having 810, which is one of the record in this table, has been successfully deleted. So in this way, you can perform various such operations which we actually generally perform in the normal SQL tables. You can similarly perform them in SQL views as well. Now for some reasons, if you want to delete the whole view, that is the view that we have already created. Now for some reasons, if you want to delete it, you can simply use the drop command here, which will completely delete the view that you have created. So the query would be drop, mention the view name, which is project view. Right, so let us just execute this. So our query has been successfully executed. So let me just use the select statement to display the records. Select star from, which is project view. Right, so let us execute this. Now when I execute this, it will simply say that project view does not exist, which means that our view which we have created has been successfully deleted from the database and the schema as well. And that brings us to the end of today's session, guys. I hope you understood how to create a view in SQL. Now you might have a doubt that when to use views in SQL. Now since views have both advantages and disadvantages, the question arises when to use them, right? Now, for instance, if you remove an attribute or if you actually delete a table, it can impact the functionality of a view as well. just like in a related table. For instance, if a view is using the email column of a table and you drop that column or even a single data of it that is in use by the view, the output of the view will be impacted. Now, the short answer to when to use views in SQL is when you want to write complex select queries that require gathering data from multiple tables. In that case, you can use SQL Views. Thank you for watching the video, guys. I hope you found this tutorial informative and helpful. If you have any further queries regarding any of the topics covered in today's session, feel free to let us know in the comment section below, and a team of experts will be more than happy to help resolve all your queries at the earliest. Until next time, stay safe and keep coding.